Hey, everybody, welcome to today's 2-minute sales tip with Tim. Today, I want to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, and that's prospecting. What I want to share with you are my 4 simple but not easy steps to becoming a black belt at finding and winning new business opportunities. Are you ready? Here we go. Step number 1 is you have to have a defined list of who you're trying to connect with, who you're trying to have a conversation with, right? And trust you me, having a list is not the same thing as having a CRM. Here's the challenge. Inside of most CRMs today is data that will never ever see the light of day. That's not what I want you to have. I want you to have a defined list of, hey, these are the people I need to be reaching out today, this week, this month, this quarter, this year. These are the people that are going to be critical to my success, and I'd love to have a conversation with them. That's step 1. Step 2 is now you have to create a library of irresistible sales stories. What's a sales story? Sales story fundamentally answers 2 questions. The first question is, why in the world should I have a conversation with you? And the second question is, why in the world should I have a conversation with you right now? Right? And the challenge when clients hire me to help them develop a sales story, the challenge is that most organizations have sales stories that work too hard on trying to actually sell the product or sell their solution. That's not the goal of the sales story. You're not trying to sell your product or sell your solution. You're simply trying to sell the idea of having an initial conversation. And please note that I didn't say create an irresistible sales story. I said create a library of irresistible sales stories because it's going to take more than one to get the job done. So step 1 is I've got this ideal client profile list that I'm targeting. Step 2, I've created this library of irresistible sales stories. Step 3 is you got to have a follow-up strategy because people are not going to respond right away, right? You're going to have to demonstrate professionalism and persistence. And so when you create a follow-up strategy, it needs to be creative, it needs to be insightful, it needs to be valuable, and it needs to be fun. And if you're following up to check in or touch base, that is not creative, insightful, valuable, or fun. Get yourself a follow-up methodology that really sets you apart from everybody else out there that's checking in, touching base, bumping it at the top of your inbox. Don't do that, right? Be unique. So step 1, you've got the list. Step 2, you've got a library of these irresistible sales stories that you're dying to tell. Step number 3 is you've got a really, really good, unique, creative, insightful, and valuable follow-up process. And step 4 is once you've been awarded that initial meeting, and trust you me, if you follow steps 1 through 3 and you do it consistently and persistently, you will win meetings. But step number 4 is now you've got to plan and prepare your questions in advance. Because here's the deal, if you don't win the initial meeting, there's not going to be a second meeting. And so at the initial meeting, if you do the show up and throw up, the spray and pray, if you tell them all about how great you are, you're not going to get that second meeting. The initial meeting needs to be about discovery, figuring out where they're at, where they're trying to get to, why it's important to them, what have they tried before that hasn't worked. Net bottom line, when you plan and prepare your sales questions in advance, your goal is you really want to try to gently put the prospect into so much pain that it would be gross negligence for them not to agree to another meeting. So those are the 4 steps. Get yourself a targeted list, create a library of irresistible sales stories, have a follow-up process that is insightful, creative, valuable, and fun, and then plan your questions so you can have an incredible initial meeting. My name is Tim Wackel. Thanks so much for watching.